Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Paul, and a couple topics I want to talk about today. One is the inherent unpredictability of human beings, and two, why and how to get your clients to move away from focusing just on CPL and which key metrics they should be focusing on instead for the best business growth that they can possibly imagine. So, to start on the randomness of humans, in physics, in a system, if everything is known about that system in terms of velocity, spin, charge, things like that of each particle, conceivably you can predict the entire system. And some of these videos that I watch on physics, what they say is, while you can predict the outcome of everything in the system, you put a human being in it, you cannot predict what's going to happen to that human being, even if you can predict what's going to happen to everything else in that system. So all that to say, we can create our ad campaigns with a high level of precision and control a lot of the elements. We can control the messaging, the ad copy, the creative, the design, the layout. We can have that messaging be specific to our target audience. We can have ad targeting the ad set specific to the people we're trying to reach, even to the level of, hey, just people in this zip code, or just people in this postal code, or just people in the city, or just people of this gender or occupation and things like that. And because of that high level precision backed with a very powerful artificial intelligence in Facebook, we forget that behind the ad is a random human being doing God knows what while they're looking at Facebook. So for that reason, we got to take that with a grain of salt. We have to add in the unpredictability of human beings into our calculation. So I'm going to go through this and show you what these key metrics are and how to set those expectations with your clients to really get them thinking about their business as a whole. And so you move from just person who's providing leads at a cost to a trusted marketing advisor, a consultant, someone who is there to help the client with their growth in business. So let's take a look at that. All right, let's take a look at this lead gen calculator. So a couple things, anything that I have highlighted in green are the things that we have influence over, things that we can impact. This right here in orange, this is a function of your monthly budget and what's actually happening in the ad account. I put it in orange just because I might want to play around with this. Like, let me just say, get some random number, 137 leads. How many? What's the cost per lead? And so you can see all this changing up. So what do I have? I'll just start it here at 75 for a nice, clean, even $40 lead cost. Yeah, that's $40. So your clients are going to typically set this budget. So we can influence that. We can ask them to spend more money, or that can be part of a monthly review call of, hey, what's performance like? Okay, you want more leads? Let's up the budget. So we'll just assume right now it's at $3,000 and it's kind of set, static, whatever. And so we're going to look at, let's say, $40 leads for, I do a lot in home services, dental niches, things like that. On the dental side, this could be a little bit high. In home services, this is probably about average. So I like that kind of as like a good average one. It might be above average for some, but overall $40 lead for a qualified lead isn't too bad. So first, to recap the first half of this video, first part of this video, this is us taking into factor the randomness of a human being, the percent of unqualified leads. And this is considering having a form, and a form that asks a lot of questions, not just, hey, name, email, phone number. In this situation, we're looking at name, email, phone number. Do you have insurance? What kind of healthcare have you done with your teeth? When was the last time you saw a dentist? Any type of question that's going to go on with your form to generate a lead to get them qualified. So despite all of that, you're going to still get unqualified leads because of the inherent randomness of human beings. It's crazy. I'm laughing because I've had this conversation with clients all the time. Something where you ask specifically, are you a homeowner? They say yes. The client gets them on the phone. Guess what? They rent. And the client's like, why am I getting renters? I'm like, I don't know. People are weird. We can't obviously filter out for that in our targeting, but we filter out for it in our form. So we cannot control if someone flat out lies to you. We just can't. We can't count on or dismiss people who filled the form and then positively, boldly, and confident claim, I never filled this out. It's like, well, I've got a lead here with a lot of information, and some of these answers that people have to type into. They're not just always multiple choice. Like, where do you think I just got this information from? But people will insist, I never filled that out. No. And then there's people who just fill out forms for fun. Like, that makes no sense to me because I don't find that fun. But I mean, people like a lot of stuff I don't like. But those tend to be the three main types of unqualified people. People who just flat out lie, people who insist they never got your form, never filled out your form, and then people who just filled out for free or for fun. And you can spot those people, those third people, because you see them just come up time and time again. You never get in touch with them, things like that. So we're going to look at, let's say, I can say maybe 10 to 15%. I think 15% is good. It's always kind of good to err on the side of caution or not try to be too conservative in your estimations. And so if we're looking at 75 leads, well, I can bet that 15% of them, despite our best efforts with the forms and the targeting, are just going to be garbage. They're going to be unqualified. That leaves us with 64. Man, can I not read numbers anymore? But here's what's fascinating. that only leads to a $7 increase in our lead cost. Our CPL only goes up $7. Now, if I'm looking at leads kind of day to day, or let's say week to week, or even in a 30-day span, I don't see a huge difference between this lead cost and this lead cost. Now, I'm not a statistician to say what is actually like a solid percent increase or a significant increase. I'm not here to speak on that. But in my mind, I'm like, okay, cool. Well, $47, like that's just the cost of doing business. And that's what you could probably say. The cost of doing business online is the unpredictability. So moving on, let's say of these 64 leads, 20% just respond to you in some shape, form, or fashion. This is not a close. It's not an appointment. This is nothing. This is just a response. Now we're down to 12.75 leads, and that's at $235. Now, most clients will not look at this number at all. And you don't even really need to, but I wanted to show kind of each step. So we got this. Let's say your close rate is 15% of the people who respond. Now we're looking at almost just shy of 2 deals closed. Now, average order value, I don't know what this is for every industry. I'm looking at home services, dental, whatever. This could change. This could go up, this could go down. So we're just going to keep it on even $5,000 for this example. 2 deals, we'll just say this 2 deals, just shy of 10 grand. Cost per acquisition, how much we spent, how many deals, about 1,500. We don't often use ROAS with lead gen, just because it's not, we don't calculate it within the platform, but it doesn't ever hurt to see, well, what did we spend and what did we get back? So in this way, if you were to tell someone, hey, do you want to spend $1,500 to make $9,500? They'd be like, heck yes. And if you were to say, cool, give me $1,500 and in a week I'll give you 10 grand. Well, that's snake oil. That's get rich quick scheme, because no one wants to see all this stuff that comes before this awesome number right here. People don't want to know that 50% of their leads are going to be unqualified. They don't want to know that the response rate might be 20%, maybe less. They don't want to see that they're going to close 15% and that out of 75 leads, they're only going to close 2 of them. But these numbers check out. In fact, let me just see what this overall conversion is. 2 divided by 75. Classic me in spreadsheets. I didn't put my equal sign. Look at that. It just tells me 2 point, okay, almost about 3%. And that's from lead to close. So let's look at this. Client is just telling you, wow, lead cost has gone up to $40. What the heck? You can try to fix that. And depending on where you at in your campaigns, how mature your campaign is, meaning how long it's been going. If it's early on, you say, you know what, we could get it down lower. It's possible. Now, and reference my expectation setting post from the other week, and just know how to set expectations, because you don't want to set that improperly. But if it's early on, yeah, you'd be like, hey, this is early, and I'm confident that we can get it lower. But if it's been running for like 3-4 months, and you know that this is kind of the floor of where it's at, where, on average, maybe you'll have days where it's like 20, $25, maybe it's up to 60 other days, but it's going to typically even out around 40. You can have that conversation with them. Be like, listen, this is kind of where we're at, and let's look at these other numbers. So if we're looking at this, let's look at what happens when the response rate goes up 5%. And let's see, this is, let's say 13. So I'm going to see what that changes to 13. Now it's okay. Now 3 more responsive leads, but look at that. That went up $2,400 just from a 5% increase, just from 3 more leads being responsive. It's a lot of money. If instead all they're focused on is, let's say, getting this down to $30, you might be missing out, because again, they don't realize that there is a floor often, because there is. There's only so low you can get. Now let's look at, well, and I'm going to back up a little bit. Let's go back to here. Hey, we're consistently getting $40 leads, or let's say that's just where it ends up at. Maybe there's a day or two we're getting it better, and they're just somehow getting spoiled, and they're like, oh, what's my CPL? It's too high. Sure, hey, I can lower that. What's happened? Let's cut that lead cost in half. What is going to happen? And I need to maybe figure out my calculator better, or have a separate one. If you go for the cheapest lead, I guarantee this is going to go up. Now, I don't know if that's going to double or even just go up, but oh wait, I need to lower this. Say 7%. Right? Yeah. Okay. Let's double check and see my count still works. So let's say this goes down to 7%. Because if we're getting these cheaper leads, we've probably removed some questions. We moved some of those qualifying questions. So more leads are coming through at a cheaper amount. Far less of them are responsive, because now they're more garbage leads. So you got to sift through those to get them, to get these closed deals. So it's how you want it. Six one way, half a dozen another. What is the end result? What can we influence? Now, if you look at your lead form strategically and see, you know what, I can remove some shooting some questions, then go for it. And that's a conversation to have with your client. Which of these questions are a nice to have for you and your salespeople? Which of these questions are a need to know for you and your salespeople? Do not let the client or the client sales team get lazy. In the ideal salesperson world, you hand them a lead who is completely pre-qualified and they have a pen in hand ready to sign the contract. We all kind of look at like the easiest path that we just know is not feasible. That's just how people want things to work. That's why get rich quick schemes still exist. People want to believe that they can do it in the easiest way possible. That's just not the case. So find that balance between the sales team and the client of what is absolutely necessary and what is a nice to have. Which of these can we move from the form to the call when you get this response? What do you then qualify when the sales process happens? So find that balance. And then once you're there, then it's like, hey, we're getting these leads consistently. How do we figure out this? How do we get this number up? Because that is where you can advise and help and improve upon. Now, you can help advise them here. It's like, well, hey, what is your close rate? I don't know. Well, you should probably figure that out. Because if it's not, let's say 15, 20%, you should probably work on your sales process or whatever you know that baseline to be the close rate for that industry. You should probably work on that. I'm happy to help you, give you some guidance and whatever. I'm not a sales coach. But if you can get that close rate up to, I'll just do 23 because that's what I hit. It makes a massive difference. Huge difference. So this is what we can do. We can influence this. We can influence this to a degree, but depending on how we influence that, we're going to inevitably influence the response rate of the type of leads and lead quality that we get. Now, the next thing we can help with is the average order value. We can help with that a little bit, but we can enlighten our clients on how do we look at that? How do we look at AOV? What are you selling them? What's an add-on service you can do? Or, well, if they're buying it now, I call that immediate revenue. What are you making the minute this deal closes? Or you make $5,000, cool. What's the likelihood that they're going to buy something else from you in the near future? Let's say this is HVAC. Hey, they buy a system for $5,000. In 6 months they're going to need a service. Okay, what's the value of that? Well, that's another $300. Okay, so then maybe is it safe to say that every 6 months they're going to need a service? Yeah. All right, let's look at that. Or hey, we're going to sell you this unit and include 2 years of servicing only for an extra $500. No big deal. Whatever it is, like that's where marketing and management mesh. What offers can you help your clients create or enlighten them to? That's based on their margins, their offers, their services, things like that, how they service their clients. Now, let's say it's like, hey, they spent $5,000 with me. They're done. They are completely finished with me. There's nothing else I can possibly serve them. Now, one, I kind of would doubt that. But two, the other thing is you've got someone who's purchased from you, an active buyer, an intent buyer, someone who's shown a past to see an ad and purchase something, or even the fact that they trust you. You provide a great service. So let's say you're HVAC here or solar. Well, you can't, you might not be able to sell them a major purchase again for quite some time. But you know what? Let's merge those. You're an HVAC owner or business owner. You've got a friend who does solar. You go all your clients say, hey, I've got this great offer. I've partnered with this great company. They can help save you even more money on your power bill. You can crank that AC up as cold as you want it or as hot as you want it in the wintertime without really having an impact on your power bill. Would you like to learn more? Like, heck yeah, we know you, we trust you, we know, like, and trust you. We've done business with you. So you project manage that deal, team up with the solar person to provide that install. You get a commission of that. Like between all those different ways of making money off of this AOV could be higher immediately, or in the next few years, suddenly it's double that. That was a great book that talks about these ideas in the link. It's called Getting Everything You Can Out of All That You've Got. Phenomenal book. It's just a book full of millions of ideas. That's exaggeration, not millions. So that would be a very big book. It's got a ton of ideas on how to get the most money out of your leads, and not in a way of taking advantage of them. We're always in the context of we're ethical, we're moral. We want to do what's best for the client. Now, if they have an opportunity to save more money, well, it's our responsibility to help provide them with the best outcome. So I highly recommend that book. It's a way that you can help advise on average order value. And then what I don't have on here is lifetime value, but that's something else to factor in because you might make $5,000 here, but then over 3 years, you might make another $5,000. That's just money waiting to happen. So longer video today. I really didn't have a plan for how long to make this. We'll see how long it goes in the editing process. But I like this because it's very visual of just a lot of conversations that I've had with clients who are like, lead cost. Well, are you closing deals? Yeah, we're closing deals. We're closing a lot of them. Well, what do you care about lead cost? That's between us marketers. It's us around the water cooler. I would not say that to clients, but it's like, if we can get them to see the entire process, not just the front end, we're better serving our clients and we're better serving the clients of our clients. So keep that in mind. Hopefully that's helpful. Any questions, let me know. I know sometimes I go on these tangents. I think I'm getting better at these videos, to be quite honest. Let me know. Any questions, let me know. Any feedback, let me know. Anything you want me to expand upon, talk about, I'd be happy to. So I hope you enjoyed this one today.